We're live.
3, 2, 1, live. We're live. I've been waiting for him to say live so I can go like this. Class is in session, kids. Class is in session. Hey, everybody. Jill Simonianis here with PragerU Kids. What in the world is this, Amala?
A bell.
A bell.
That rings liberty, I'm sure.
It's a Liberty Bell with a crack, which we will talk about later. Today is Tuesday, March 1st. How is everyone? How are our parents, our grandparents, our teachers, educators, families who are fans of our PragerU Kids shows? How are you, Amala?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Jill?
I'm good. Do you know what tomorrow is?
I have a little bit of a hint from what we talked about before. Read Across America Day.
Read Across America Day is traditionally, since I believe 1998, a national day of recognition for schools to get children excited about reading. It is also Dr. Seuss's birthday, however, which they used to celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday in schools March 2nd with Read Across America Day. But now they don't do it anymore. Do we have any reason why?
COVID.
That's a good guess. But about a year ago, Dr. Seuss was canceled for those of us who remember reading the headlines about how many educators wanted to cancel Dr. Seuss and ban his books because they believed that they had undertones of racial injustice. But that's another story. Let's talk about Read Across America Day, March 2nd, Wednesday. This will be tomorrow. For all of you joining in, please weigh in if you're an educator or a parent who is a fan of our PragerU Kids shows. If you subscribe, give us some hearts. If you don't subscribe, make sure you subscribe to PragerU Kids, because what we're doing at PragerU Kids is essentially answering and offsetting the woke agenda that the National Education Association's Read Across America Day now propels.
Yes.
I want to read something that I found on the NEA's website. We love to bring all of you information so that we can all stay awake and aware and active and informed about what's happening in our school systems. The NEA, Amala, what is the NEA?
It's a teachers union. It's in fact the second largest teachers union in America, with control of over 14,000 different school districts.
Yes,
Yay.
yes. Amala, you always pass the test, because every time I ask you for a fact, it's just like a machine. It's amazing. So what the NEA says about Read Across America Day online, and this is all public, you can find this, they say that Read Across America Day is traditionally to bring the joy of reading to students of all ages and make children valued and welcome. And this was established by the NEA in 1998. Let's go on a treasure hunt, shall we?
We shall.
Let's go to NEA.org, and I sent you a link earlier. So let's go ahead and go to that, because I really want to find out what Read Across America Day is about now. And what I found was all sorts of tabs about racial and social justice. The NEA is the largest employee organization. In the past, the NEA has cited parents as aggressors. Any parent who opposed the shutdowns or mandates into schools or radicalized education, the NEA has cited parents historically in the last couple of years as aggressors. They publicly support BLM, the political organization. They are NEA also on their website, and you can all find all of this online. Anti-law enforcement. They say that when laws at schools, they interfere with students' ability to learn. So these are the types of things that the NEA, the National Education Association, promotes. And they are in charge of Read Across America Day. Yeah. So give me a little report here, Amala, because you're the whiz and you see all of this on the website, which I think we're showing. Yes. What is Read Across America Day about? What kinds of narratives do they have there for this year?
It seems to be like much of what leftism is, and that's packaging things in pretty words like reading across America, and we want more kids to read. And then underneath that, they throw in the diversity, the equity, and the inclusion, where they essentially racialize every single narrative that can possibly be taught to your children. On their website, it says, create and celebrate a nation of diverse readers. Oh, seemingly not a bad thing to do, but then you scroll down and it says things like the poetry of a black girl dreaming, as if being black has anything to do with having dreams. And then secondly, I'd love to see black people that are allowed to be boring.
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
I imagine they're saying, like, in the narratives that they write about black people, it always has to be this interesting, zany, all over the place character. Why can't the black person just be the boring character? Because that's what white people get to be. It's just ridiculous. That's what my old leftists say. My old leftist self would say. Yeah.
And then if we scroll down, there's a lot of mentions on the NEA's Read Across America website about activism. That was one thing in my, in my scrolling and clicking around to see what the day has essentially morphed into.
Yep.
I kept seeing the word activism, activist teacher, activist author, and they have all these videos. And why, my question as a mother of kids in elementary school, why is it imperative that activism be included in a day that is supposedly meant to let all children feel valued and enjoy reading? That's the problem I have.
They want to grab them while they're young, Jill.
I know we talk about this all the time. Do we have any comments from parents or educators below? I'm just curious if anyone is caught on to this or if I'm the.
Yeah, Delia seems to be a teacher. She says, I would always read a Dr. Seuss book to my class on Read Across America Day before I retired, but now he's canceled. Ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what else? I gotta wonder. I wonder. So tomorrow, across America, March 2nd, all sorts of teachers and educators and schools and parents, for that matter, they're going to be sharing all of these moments happening in schools with books and children reading with the hashtag Across America Day. So just for kicks, I'm curious, do you think, Amala, if I were to tweet our Otto's Tales, the National Anthem and Pledge of Allegiance book with the hashtag Read Across America Day, do you think the NEA would retweet me?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no.
Why? Why? Because it has kids saying the Pledge of Allegiance? Why?
They don't like the Pledge of Allegiance or
they don't like them.
National
Well,
anthem.
do you think if I shared one of our Columbus Day books that Read Across America, it would be honored?
You mean a book filled with racism and white supremacy? Absolutely not.
What about Martin Luther King Jr.?
Conservatives have misinterpreted the words of Martin Luther King Jr. How dare you ask that we read this book?
But what about President's Day?
Oh, gosh. Those other white supremacists? No. Get out of here, Jill.
Listen, I'm laughing, but as usual, I find no joy in this. My call to action, I'm going to challenge Amala and I'm going to challenge Taylor, who's over there, not off camera, you can see him, but I'm going to challenge everyone watching. This is a positive call to action for parents and teachers. If you have one of our Otto's Tales books that celebrate American values, or if you have any book that celebrates American values or history, or is just a nice story that is unbiased, please share it on social media tomorrow and hashtag Read Across America so that we can put unbiased, positive, unifying stories back into the narrative.
I completely agree with you. Yeah, it's needed now more than ever.
Yeah, it's needed. And it's like it shouldn't be a scary thing to want to share something positive about our country. That's the problem. NEA, I challenge you to share a story or to retweet something that celebrates America for Read Across America Day. All right, that's the call I have for parents. Are there any more comments?
Somebody said, I'm a teacher and I'll be reading Dr. Seuss.
I love it.
There we go. Going against the grain.
I love it. Going against the grain. Anyways, we just wanted to keep all of you informed as usual, not to be fooled by the trickery of words by these woke organizations that unfortunately are hijacking our education system. Years ago, when Read Across America Day was created, I have no doubt that it really was in sincerity to value all children and to get children excited about reading. But it, like many organizations, unfortunately, has turned woke. Be aware. Don't be afraid to push back on the narrative. Don't be afraid to share things that are positive. Okay, do we want? Let's share something that is positive now. Mm-hmm. Our latest one of our latest releases for our kids shows, and I'll bring this back. It's a show and tell. Amala answered, how ridiculous does this look? What is it? What is she doing on the PragerU Facebook feed? Look at you guys. One of the magic components of our PragerU Kids shows is that they are entertaining and fun and sometimes goofy and silly, but they also all teach history lessons and different times in history that many of our schools are skipping. And the history lesson that we have for the latest Craftory is all about the Liberty Bell. Let's play a little clip.
Here we go.
Through the hole in the middle of the inside. Next, you're gonna tie the top strings together so that you can hang it up easily. And then you're almost done. Okay, so that's the crafty part. Go to the little history part. I forget. Can you guess the finishing touch? So there's a little history about the Liberty Bell because our kids really aren't learning about it. My kids didn't know anything about the Liberty Bell. They didn't know that it was a symbol for the anti-slavery movement. They didn't know that it was hidden because the colonists were scared that the British were going to steal it to make cannons. They didn't know that it was ordered from London. They didn't know that it was at first called the State House Bell, which then was moved to Independence Hall. We got a whole history lesson on the Liberty Bell, and it's something to celebrate because that really is what inclusion is all about.
Right.
Learning all parts, even the good parts of our history. So I challenge you to make this, Amala, in your spare time. Okay. If you haven't already subscribed to our PragerU Kids shows, please join us. Welcome to the kids edutainment shows that we have. We have almost 100. In March, we're going to have 100 different kids assets available free, always free online. We thank all of our supporters. We thank all of our people who generously donate to keep our kids shows free and available to all. Any words of wisdom regarding Read Across America Day?
I have one quick comment from the chat I thought was great.
Yes.
Sherry Van Zee says, Read Across America was such a good push to get children to read more. Please keep it positive for reading and not a promotion of the woke push.
Yes, that is it. I'm applauding. I hope they can hear. Here, ring the bell. Wind chime. The Liberty Bell wind chime agrees with you. All right, guys. Say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Join us at PragerU Kids. See you next time.